Have you been doing almost the same type of cake all the time and wanted something different, and so you went on a recipe hunting? Stop, because you are at the right place. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be sharing with you how I made this delicious apple cake. Yes, apple cake. And I assure you by the time we are done, you won't make your apple cake a different way. So keep on watching. For this recipe, we will need one large apple. If you do not have a large apple, you can use two small ones or 1.5 medium apples. We are going to begin by removing the core of the apples. After taking out the core of the apple, we are going to cut it into smaller chunks as I did, or you can cut it into the shape and the size you prefer. After cutting one part of the apple into smaller pieces, we'll put it into a bowl and add about 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. This is for extra crunchiness. Then 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1 tablespoon of melted butter, and stir everything together and set it aside to use later. We are going to grate the other half of the apple and set it aside, since we are going to be using it in our recipe. And also do not bother if the apple changes color while we are making the cake batter. In a bowl, we are going to put in 3 eggs, 1/4 cup of melted butter, 1/4 cup of oil, and 1/2 cup of sugar. The butter is for extra flavor. Oil is for moisture, and also the oil and butter also helps the cake not to stick into our cake pan. So we went on and stir everything together, and then we're putting in 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. We're going to shift it into our liquid mixture. Sieving the flour helps the cake to be fluffy and light, so this is a very important process. After sieving the flour and the baking powder, in fact all of the dry ingredients, we will go ahead and mix it together very well. At this point the batter is very dense, so I went ahead and added 1 cup of milk, but I added it into 2 parts. Don't also forget all of the ingredients should be at room temperature. The cake ingredients should be at room temperature. If not, when you put the batter in the oven and as the external part starts baking, the inner part is still raw and will take a longer time to get ready. So when the outer part is already ready and golden brown, the inner part is still cooking, and when it is fully baked, the outer part will be burnt or too brown to your liking. I hope it makes sense and you understand what I'm trying to say. After obtaining the consistency of the batter I needed, I went ahead and added the apple which I grated earlier and set aside. Then mix everything together very well till I obtain a homogeneous mixture. In a baking pan coated with butter and flour, I put in the chopped apple mixed with cinnamon, sugar and melted butter. Then arrange it as you have seen me doing. Then I went ahead and added the cake batter into the baking pan. After pouring the batter into the baking pan, heat the baking pan onto your work surface to remove extra air bubbles. Then bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 40 minutes or till the cake is golden brown and your testing stick comes out dry. Your baking time will also depend on your oven. And voila, our cake is ready. Put it on a baking rack and let it cool. Let me say you should leave it to cool down for about 10 minutes. Then you take it out from the baking pan and put it into a tray and you can serve. You can eat it either cool or hot. It all depends on your preferences. See how beautiful the cake is. Just from the eye you can tell the cake is really very delicious. You can give it a try, and I assure you, if you follow the steps and the measurements, your cake will turn out very delicious. So thank you very much for watching, and please do share, like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.